around the world, the practicalities of trying to do it, it's an impossible task, really. So
Mm-hmm.
it's had to be an e-book for the time being, and look at it again in the future, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, unless you get it in the bookstores where they can order it
Yeah,
themselves and ship it around, it does get quite costly, as I've come to find out.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
I mean, for the the actual physical book, I mean, I had some test prints of it done just to see what it would look like as a paper book. And
mm,
sadly, the airmail cost to send it to America is more than the book costs. There's just no way
Yeah.
around it. You still
oh,
could.
no, absolutely.
From even from US to Canada, if I can't get a book on Amazon and it's American, it costs me more than double to get it.
Yeah,
And you
Hmm.
often want to read a book before your guest is on, right? So it
yeah.
gets insane at times. It becomes insane. Having it as a Kindle is a wonderful option.
Hmm.
It's easy, and once you've actually got it listed, it just sits there for eternity. It's
Mm-hmm.
forever. The job is finished.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll have a look in 3 months or 6 months' time and see how popular it is. Honestly, couldn't even guess. I have no idea at all. You just can't check.
No, it's Joe. You
Might
have to wait
might
for the statements.
you might be able to print it, put it in print, and sell it on the network eventually when the show's international.
Well, that would have to be the way you would need to do it, I think, as part of the show and bring it in
Mm-hmm.
under the show format. Because then, if you got some support from whatever the network is or the production company, you've got far more chance of actually getting a distributor. Because that's the
Yeah.
difficult part. It's not the writing it or physically producing it. It's getting someone who can flash it around the world for you is the problem.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
So
yeah, it's
yeah,
expensive. The good old postage.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's done. It's not ideal, but it looks okay. It's the first attempt I've done at getting something like
Oh,
that done.
looks great.
All
Looks
right,
great.
so we will
So,
see.
so you guys have some relics to share with everyone. Who wants to get started? Come on.
Show and tell, show and tell.
What are you
I
drinking?
love
That's
this.
not
I'll
Folgers.
start off
What is
for you.
that? That's,
We got
Okay.
10 minutes to Folgers.
that's lemon. Okay. All right. We'll
Yeah,
let that go.
right.
He's doing it again.
We'll
Stop
let it go.
it. Stop it.
That's okay. I want royalties.
So, yeah, I mean, there's loads of things. We've got quite a lot of choice really when we're looking at what to bring on, and I picked 3 items that they're not like what we call a rock star items. The rock star items are chalices and swords and helmets, and
Mhm.
I love that.
everyone
Rock
everyone yeah, everyone wants them, but actually it's some of the other ones that tell another story and a different side to the
Mhm.
temples and what they were at. So the first one I want to show you is the amethyst. Um, this is a this is very difficult for me to see what you can see here, but
Yeah,
it's
I
a
can see it.
it's a hexagon shaped amethyst vessel
Wow.
uh, with lancets on each side. They look like a saint or an apostle in
Hmm.
each section. And underneath on this, there's a bezel here, and on each facet, on one you've got a Templar cross, and then the next one you've got the Chi Rho, and it repeats itself. And then underneath, there's there's like the flower of life symbol.
Wow.
So
Wow. Wow.
you're looking at, first of all, yet again, an exquisitely carved item, which the people think of the Templars. They were brutes. They were just warriors. They went into battle, and that's what they did. They
Hmm.
were they had a creative, artistic appreciation for the arts and an understanding for fine, art history and materials and again, we don't know what it was used for, but it's amethyst. It's highly decoratively carved, and it's been done by an artisan that really knows what they're doing. It's quite heavy, actually. What are we talking about? It's about 2.5 inches height by the diameter of an inch and a half. It's been bored out in the centre, and the inside of it is really highly polished and very precise. It's almost as if it's been on a lathe and they machined it, but
it was hand done. Like,
yeah, it might have been done on
a
lathe. They did have sort of lathe systems, tools to do, but the outside, I don't know whether if we can get some light on it. Let me just see if I
would
can.
that have been difficult to work with? Because I know with the chalice, it would have been almost impossible to carve.
A lot softer than obsidian.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know if you can see anything.
Yeah, we can see that. Yeah. Wow.
That's gorgeous. Yeah. Wow.
That's
I wonder
very
if they
detailed.
used it as a candle holder.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I'm suspected it may be more for something like oils or something like that. Yeah. But it's curious again, isn't it? It's a hexagon that they've used.
Yes.
So the hex always comes in. You've got the flower or the symbol of life in the form of a flower. And we really haven't identified who the apostles are on the side, on the six sides.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, there's a beautiful frieze along the top. And then, as I said, on the chamfered bezel, there's a Templar cross. I don't know whether you can see that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you get the chai row.
Yeah. I'm terrible. I'd put a candle in there.
No,
the
thing would just sit there. No, sit and be admired.
It's another one we were thinking of doing a Franklin limited edition resin copy for.
Right. Yeah. So you can have shots.
And then you can put a candle in it. And then you can put a candle in it.
As well. Then you can put a candle in it.
Yeah. Or when it's resin.
Well, we'd sell it with the top, and you could have M&Ms in it or something like that.
Skittles.
Hamilton could put his chocolate bar in it.
That's not enough for Skittles, though. I need something a little bit bigger.
Okay. Jelly beans. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is an amazing piece. That is an amazing piece.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
That's one of the pieces that it might actually predate the Templar period, because there are not many, but there are a few pieces that are sort of Byzantine that we're pretty sure were taken from Byzantine in 1204. And it's not impossible that could be 7th, 8th century, possibly. It just has the feel of being older than the Crusader period. And at that time, it really was the sort of the pinnacle of the Byzantine Empire, where they had their craftsmanship was probably the finest in that part of the world. And there are some agate vessels, again, very typical of Byzantine craftsmanship.
Yes. Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna fall in love right now.
That's beautiful.
That's inlaid with a gold Templar cross.
Wow.
And I mean, it's beautiful. You can't hold it by the handles. They're that delicate, and we're scared of holding it by the handles because it's absolutely beautiful.
It's stunning. Wow. That's beautiful.
It's again, another fantastic piece. And once again, it shows that the Templars were really appreciated, craftsmanship.
Which piece is it, Carl? I can't actually see a thing.
This is the one with the two. This is the one with the two ears on it.
Okay. This is a little type vessel.
Yeah. It's agate, isn't it?
Agate.
Yeah, it's black agate, and again, that one is one of the pieces that I suspect is a little bit earlier, and then the actual Templar crosses inlaid in gold were probably put in the 12th century when they took possession of it, or 12th, 13th century. But no, that's a very, very nice quality thing. No, really good little piece. That is very, very delicate.
And then
Sometimes
there was this one, Hamilton. This is beautiful. This is another one with a Chiro gold
Oh my gosh.
center.
Look at that.
And then on the
Look at that.
side, it's difficult to see, but there's
No, I see them.
interspersed
The
with the
crosses.
Chiro and the Templar cross.
Wow.
Again,
That's
delicate,
beautiful.
exquisitely beautiful, highly, prized items with, we don't know what they were used for, but, they weren't used by brutes. These
No.
are used by sophisticated people who had taste and style, and, they appreciated all these things, and it's evident here. It's not, it's there to see. It's not all just about swords and swimming.
No.
Big glug flagons of ale and wine.
Well, if you think about it, Templars came from all walks of life, and they brought their skills with them.
Yeah.
There was a place for everyone within the order. And you look at just some of the pieces you guys own, and that is essentially a prime example and proof that there were like amazing artisans and all of that,
well,
within the order.
Not only the artisans themselves, the general appreciation throughout the whole order of what was quality and what you'd perceive as fine quality art in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Because sort of 99% of the people in the world at that time were making do with the most basic bricks or wooden bowls and wooden vessels.
Mm-hmm.
It was just inconceivable for the normal man of that period to be able to have luxury items. The world didn't work like that. It was subsistence, or you made it yourself. The tiny proportion of society that was able to buy that type of item, you're really looking at sort of church level money or
Regal,
definitely. The average
most people had wooden
Yeah.
food bowls. You'd have wooden vessels because wood is ubiquitous, and it doesn't take big skills to do that.
But you just look at how delicate they are, and they still manage to withstand the test of time. They exist, right?
Well, that's the thing. They exist, and really, firstly, they shouldn't, because they're so delicate.
Mm-hmm.
It's wherever they've been since they were manufactured, whatever countries they've passed through before they ended up in Portugal, whoever has had them throughout their whole existence has always valued them. Nobody has done anything careless, because I mean, honestly, you'd only need to knock that off the floor and the handle's gone. I mean, they are so delicate. It's they've been appreciated throughout however many ownerships they've had over the last 1,000 or so years.
No, they're
almost
amazing.
Look like pieces they would use for anointing oils.
I think so.
Yeah, especially the double-handed one. That just something in a ritual.
On the amethyst one, it is quite possible that there's a lid missing off this. A gold lid. We've got an item with a lid that simulates the mosque, isn't it, Hamilton? Is it the Alaskan mosque? The gold dome.
There is another agate vessel that's like a little more like I don't know how you describe it. It's more like a sealed perfume jar or unguent jar.
It's got a gold top on.
It's got a little dome gold top on with a tiny little cross. And I don't know, it's not impossible to believe that it's replicating something on Temple Mount. It's of the right period, and very similar to what Carl was just showing you there. It's an earlier agate piece that again has got gold inlays on it from the Crusadery Templar period. So all of the vessels really do tie in together remarkably well.
Like ancient time souvenirs.
Yeah.
To the Holy Land, yes.
I've just got to do a quick. I've got to do a quick station ID. If you're listening to us, you're listening to The Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and myself, Amelia Pisano, and the two amazing Carl Cookson and Hamilton White are here tonight with us on 107.7 FM or 105.3 FM in New Orleans. We are United Public Radio, and this is partially sponsored by Folgers Coffee Crystals. Thank you, Folgers.
Thank you, Folgers.
Hey, thank you, Folgers.
There we go. Thank you, thank you. Attaboy, Hamilton. Just get right in there.
I remember this time, I remember.
I'm pretty sure they make tea.
There we go.
Actually, before Hamilton shows you this, I'll show you my Folgers coffee choice of vessel for this evening.
Thank you.
I almost fell off my chair. Wow.
That is just
that's exquisite.
Wow. Yeah, but you can't even speak when you look at something like that. Now, what is this piece aside from the obvious that it's a chalice for Folgers?
You know all about it.
So I can't even see what you're holding up. It just looks like a nothing.
It's the chalice. You know, the one that we referred to with the chalice held by the character in Short Cathedrals at Melchizedek.
The one we're under contract not to show on screen before the program gets sorted.
No,
that one. No.
It's another one.
This one holds. This one.
No, Hamilton. That's the same one. That, last time when we showed it, and I said, "You all right with showing it on the other show?" It's the same one.
I've lost track. And
we're special, so we get to see it along with 2 million other people.
I can't actually see. Honestly, I can see nothing on my screen at all other than a little tiny picture of me. And I've gone. Right? No. Oh,
you're going to have to replicate those hats on your site as well and sell them.
Yeah, talking about products that go with shows. I was just killing time before you rang us up and sprung up on one of the Facebook messages on one of the Oak Island pages or groups. There's a guy who actually makes Oak Island scenes out of Lego. I mean, it's just astonishing.
That's gotta have you know what? We're in a pandemic. People are stuck at home. We're getting creative. So, next thing you know, they'll be making chalices with Lego.
Or locked up.
I would love to see a Lego version of me and Carl. That would be fantastic. I don't know if there's any small children with Lego, but
or maybe bobbleheads. That could be a thing with a little chalice and a little hat.
Yeah, there's got to be creative people. If somebody has dreamt up doing Oak Island in Lego, I think they ought to do me and Carl and some kind of car holding a chalice. That ought to be a competition for you.
Simpsons character.
That's it.
Can I make a suggestion, Hamilton? You should write a children's book and your adventures together of you and Carl towards, geared towards children so they can learn about the history.
Minus the wine and the whiskey, though.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm child friendly. I smile at children and they run away screaming.
Well, you are in the sense of the way you eat, though.
Yeah, I can associate on that level. Yeah,
you can associate.
Hamilton's always said to me he likes children, but he couldn't eat a full one.
Can't eat them. I don't understand.
You probably could if you really worked at it. Just saying. So this chalice then, what would the chalice have been used? Do you think the one that you just held up, the bigger one that you're not supposed to show us?
Well, it's going to be a high ceremony item, isn't it? It's
definitely.
It's going to be a main event item. That's the big guns. You pull that out when there's something big going, and whether it's whether we think those kind of items were only ever shown to initiates and were not, because the Templars didn't really, like the Shirola in Tomar, that wasn't a church for the public. It was a temple for the Templars, and the public never were allowed into that. It was only initiates. So, likewise with that chalice, I would imagine it's just been for investitures or initiations or whatever they were used for. Held liquid and not powder. I mean, it's a cup, so it's evidence on that, but it's not stained the inside of that. So you might think maybe it held water, maybe it held white wine or something clear. So you can see from the actual interior of it, it's as pure as the outside.
And what is it made out of, do you think?
It's a marble. It's a marble.
White marble.
Yeah, it's gone matte over the time, because you see marble in houses on modern, floors. If they've walked on for a small amount of time, they go matte. So yeah, it's quite dull, the actual surface finish. I would imagine in the day when it was made, it was highly polished.
Oh, it's still completely exquisite. Really is.
If you look in, say, on that Templar cross part A, if you remember in the first series, the Black Obsidian Chalice, when John T. hypothesized and inserted gold. Well, it's not inconceivable that this may not have been interspersed with gold, sort of set about it. There's 4 crosses around it, and then there's some lettering, and then you've got this fabulous, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, another hexagon on the stem, so the hexagon's play game. But actually, the hexagon on the stem, you think it's going to be awkward to hold like that, but it wouldn't make sense to hold it sort of that way. There's a dignified way of holding these, or a special way of holding, or there's a reason for that stem, because it's not natural. You don't look at it and go, it's not like, let me get me drinking glass out. It's not that kind of thing. It's
dang it.
It's similar to the chalice with communion. Sorry.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
It's similar to the chalice for communion in the Catholic Church. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, again, could it have had a lid on it? I don't know. But it looks like a drinking vessel, but I agree it could be for communion, definitely. Or other things that they did that the church did, and we don't know. I don't think it was.
Would answer this then? Maybe would a Grand Master have had more elaborate cups or utensils, let's say, than everyone else? I mean,
I would only imagine ceremonially they would have done, because I think the vows were across the order, and if you start getting a Grand Master getting chicken dinners and the lads on the battlefield is just getting bread and brew.
I have to ask, because some people, would maybe wonder, was there a type of hierarchy, just like you would have, like the king, for example, like the head of the order? Would he be? You try to tell people, no, it really was very humble. Everybody was pretty even keeled.
They lived like monks, and when you talk about just for example, the accommodation, when they lived in a keep, in a castle, or that, they would have just had a chair and a bit of a fire. They wouldn't have had fancy furniture or items. They'd have had coffers and chests to store important chattels in, and sword boxes. But they didn't say, let's get some nice lighting, torches, and everything was practical. And we need a carpet, let's get an Orbison carpet. They wasn't into that sort of stuff. And if a Grand Master was seen to be having fine wines and dishing out rubbish wines to his lower minions, I think that would completely discredit and completely destroy any credibility for the integrity. I'm sure the guys at the top lived as pious and as humble, modest life as
minimalists, basically.
Pardon?
Minimalists.
Yeah, they were. They survived on good food. One funny thing about the food, we was talking to a guy, it was Tim Wallace Murphy years ago when we went to Telmar. He said one of the things the Templars were, they used to live longer than a lot of the general population, and people speculated why. And one of the things he said was they always meticulously washed their hands before food. It was almost ritualistic. It wasn't just, I'm just washing them to keep clean. It's ceremonially, and because like when you get a shower or a bath, and you come out and you just feel, I know your body's cleaner, but it's more than that. There's something about anointing yourself, completely immersing yourself in water, that when you come out, you there's a feeling of elation there that comes out of having that process occur to you. And maybe when they washed their hands, there's something going on besides that logical and natural health benefits of not contaminating your food, because if you're holding bread and bread and stuff like that, grains and porridges, but very simple food, but just like Cistercian monks, they live on very basic uncorrupted food, because the more you corrupt or process food, the more you destroy the nutrients out of it. So they knew that. It's like the Romans when they were marching across Europe. They took grain with them. They didn't take cattle, because grain is the best superfood for transporting.
You don't have to feed it.
You can add liquid and make porridges. You can make soup with lentils and barley. And you can feed an army on grain. Logistically, you can move it. And the Templars would have probably, had that knowledge for battle, for, the logistics of going on a crusade. You need to carry food, and certainly, you're not going to be carrying cows and trailing cows and sheep behind you, or goats. And, they probably did get some when they got to local areas where they could trade for some, but they probably just had very simple food, and I think the good thing is the wine side of it. That's biblically okay.
Yes, it would be.
Simple sustenance.
Yes, it would be.
It wasn't only that. So many places, when you go back to that period in history, it was actually very difficult to conserve or preserve water, and fresh, healthy supplies of water were actually very hard to find. And drinking wine was considered healthy because it's better than drinking possibly contaminated or dirty water. It wasn't a case of them being alcoholics or anything like that.
Is that your excuse then, Hampton?
No, I'm an alcoholic. So I don't have any.
I wonder.
I like that honesty.
My dad was a winemaker. He would have loved you. I wonder if that's a lot of the health benefits as well as the organic wine. All the benefits, just the red grapes right there, and yeah.
Well, some of the oldest vineyards and the oldest sort of continual use of vineyards actually goes back to the Templar period. You've got some specific vineyards in the Lebanon which date to the Templars, and you've got some vineyards in Cyprus, and they're still making exactly the same blend of wine. Yeah, Cypriot wines. And they're not really like what you would call the normal wine we're just drinking. They're more like sort of sherry type wine, sort of fortified wines. But it's the same recipes, the same soils and types of grapes that we used the thick end of 1,000 years ago. So They understood, and they were cultivating. I think it's the Bekaa Valley, down in the sort of Lebanon area. But I mean, I did actually get somebody to find out for me, with my own curiosity, and I did order a crate of I forget what I think it's called Chateau Moussard, but somebody actually then she drank it, so I haven't got any left.
Oh, that's what happens when you share.
You'll just have to get another one.
You have to hoard it. So,
this was something we did actually suggest in various of the shows. Wouldn't it be fun if we could actually do something where you almost had a 12th century Templar meal? Can we find out what they were eating, what they were drinking, and do it as a little bit of a recreation? We thought that would be a real great fun thing to do.
It would be. I filmed a show about that based on my genre and stuff, and it was nice because the whole meal was served. I was like, this is great. So I think it would be great to do something where you're going back in time and do a full reenactment.
Definitely, we bounced so many ideas across of what we thought would come across brilliantly, but not everybody shares our views. But I don't know, maybe we can do it in something else. Maybe
No, we have to wait till you hit like season 5, then you get a little bit more creative control. So you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Well, I want to do a traditional meal in America, so I can just go to McDonald's and stay there for a week.
Oh,
I can't eat
you
at McDonald's.
You don't want to eat at McDonald's.
Why not?
Not in any country. Sorry, McDonald's. Not that I would ever take that sponsorship.
There's a time place for McDonald's. I mean, I don't eat them all the time, but when I do have one now and again, I love them. And I'll tell you what is amazing is their breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah, those are all right.
You're killing me right now. Oh, you're all killing me. Oh, God, no.
Really?
Actually, fast food in Europe is considerably different than here. When my daughter lived in Australia, they were changing, even the produce had to be changed every single day. Nothing could sit more than literally 24 hours. And, you don't get fuel-injected chicken, as I call it, fuel-injected meat, all these hormones. You really actually get good food. So I was sort of amazed eating on the run. It was just like, this is actually not too bad.
I'm sure, like you said, in Europe it's a little bit different because I know
standards
my
are much
cousin
different.
my cousin from Rome actually preferred McDonald's here to there. I said, see, because it's all the
they like the fuel injected
and all
the fuel injected whatever.
But that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't say that.
And
we could probably be
French fry
sued.
I know you could put but you could put a French fry in your car, and a year later it's still there.
Yeah. No,
exactly. That's what's so good about it.
They are good. I'm not gonna lie. I love the French fries there. The French fries and a milkshake, but they have to go together. You got to dip them.
And they're packaged, right, Hamilton? It's perfect.
Just throw it away.
Anything in a package. I don't know.
It's funny because I remember when McDonald's first came to England, I used to have an army surplus store in this seaside resort called Southport. And, English people for lunch, you go to the chip shop and you get fish and chips, and you get a bag of chips that big. You're like weighing 4 pounds, and a bag of chips then was about, I don't know, I'm guessing like 15 pence a bag. McDonald's opened up and you got this little packet of like six skinny chips in for 30 pence.
I get the extra large.
They're going to go bust, and they've got no chance that'll survive. And I was so wrong.
They did. Look at them now.
They're very tasty. Their French fries are tasty.
They are good.
Yeah, their French fries are tasty.
It's fast food. There's a great time and place for it. And if you live on it every day, you're going to die young. But if you use it correctly, it's good stuff. It's fine. It's not that bad at all. It's tasty.
Well, you could fuel your car.
Keep going, Michelle.
I don't think
we're not getting sued at all.
I don't think of it like.
I won't even let this episode on YouTube if we keep it up.
It's already there.
Copyright. Bing, 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 bing.
I don't think of it in those terms, because, you say, oh, you eat too much McDonald's, you're going to die young. Well, have you ever heard any story about somebody on their deathbed kind of saying, oh, I wish I'd had some more lettuce? No, you haven't, and you never will.
Okay, we'll give you that one, Hamilton. We'll let you have that.
I have to agree with you.
Proves my point.
But there's lettuce on that burger.
Not on mine. I always have them plain.
No, it's funny. My son went to said fast food place and ordered a burger, and it came back and it just had the lettuce and all the garnishes. So basically, he goes, "Oh, is this what they call essence of meat?" He had to go back and say, "May I please have the rest?"
He forgot to put the patties in.
This would be an essence of burger. May I please have rest? It'd be great. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's good times. It's good times. So, what's next then for you guys as we count down to the end of the show? All this great fast food talk. Now we have to get something.
Hopefully, going to get out to Germany and Austria and another place before, as soon as possible, to finish that off, and then, fingers crossed, we're coming over to your neck of the woods to start doing a bit of a teaser shoot and a week of exploratory work on the Wisconsin site, and that's what we're looking forward to doing. But we have got other projects on as well, but really we can't discuss them at the moment.
No, that's okay. I got little tidbits of it. We can wait. Not really, but we will.
Yeah, I mean, from my end, I'm going back to Portugal in about 2 weeks' time, because it's just opening up and there's just flights to Portugal. Fortunately, it's one of the countries that's being one of the first to open up. So I'm heading back over there for a couple of weeks of running about and chasing a few things up. I don't know quite what will happen with the filming. That's out of our hands. I've got an invite to go on a diving expedition off the coast of Florida, if I could manage it, which again, nice. I don't know.
Nice.
But,
they're all opened up in Florida. You do all right.
Oh, yeah. Florida's fabulous.
They've never, I don't think they ever closed. No. I think it was just for a month or something.
Yeah. But no, I mean, main project now is sort of Dominic doing the pitch and trying to make the whole Team Templar USA thing come together, and it would be fantastic if we could actually start filming that in the summer if it works out.
Well, that would be great, wouldn't it? I mean, in the real world, less the pandemic, I think it'd be outstanding. Yeah. But I don't know. I hope that it works out, because I'd love to see you guys move on with your projects. I would love to see, Team Templar North America, start forging ahead with you all. I think it's a great story to tell. Much like, your discovery of the Tamar Horde was an amazing story to tell. I think it'll be ongoing. I mean, who knows what you'll find, even here in North America. Maybe you'll find another horde. Oh. Yeah. Remember your friends in Canada.
Yeah, we might get a chance to meet you guys if things open up by then. It's not that far.
Yeah,
definitely. So, I mean, we're plenty busy. It's just that we're sort of stuck at home, and I think what will happen, it'll all be an absolutely mad rush, because suddenly the world will open up, everybody will want everything doing immediately, and it'll end up getting manic, I suspect is what will happen.
I know how to deal with that. Just tell them that you think the Templars crossed Niagara.
We'll just float you down the river. It's okay. Actually, if we could float you down towards Lake Erie, up to Lake Huron, and make your way all the way to Wisconsin that way.
You never have to touch land. Portage your way across.
Yes. Cigar boat. This is like a Ferrari on water. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might actually be able to arrange that, actually. Someone who's got one of those puppies. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the cigar boats. Fantastic.
Great.
Big pal.
You
It's
got
one mean
Carl. He's
machine.
ready.
It's
He's
true.
in.
They raced it in
Uh,
Florida, actually.
I used to see them in Florida. I lived in Florida for a few years in the 80s in Clearwater. What a place that is. I can see why people go there. It's got everything, that place. It's brilliant.
It's got
Good
many
fun.
little blue-haired people living there now, unlike the
Yeah.
80s.
Oh, yeah. What do you call them? Snowflake. This
The
Snowflakes.
snowbirds. Some
snowbirds.
people will
That's it.
say snowbirds. Other people will say zombie apocalypse. Some people will say there's all kinds of different.
Very nice.
I'm just repeating what I heard.
They
Is
call
all.
them
I
the
am
pale.
not.
They call them the pale ones. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So send the heat mail to the producer, not me. I'm
No,
just relaying things I've heard.
Can't.
Give
I
them a
can't.
break.
I'm Italian. I can't relate to that. So.
I don't know. I'm just saying. So different times.
Aw,
Loved the
there's
80s. I thrived in the 80s. It was a great time. But well, I'm looking forward, to having you guys back on, because I know you're going to be doing a whole lot of stuff between now and then. And I think you guys are back on. Yep, June 23rd.
June, doesn't it? I don't even.
wow.
6 weeks, is it?
people.
Something like 6 weeks?
Yep.
Something
Pretty
like that?
much. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And there's going to be a whole lot of more fun coming. So all of you guys, all the fans and friends, Lost Relics, there you go. We're having another run at it. So there you go. So you guys
Can't
can
wait to
work
see.
something good up for us. And
We'll dream something up, I'm sure. Yes.
I have
Yeah.
no.
Listen, thanks very much for inviting us on. It's brilliant, and
Oh, welcome.
out here. So
It's
yeah.
our
Thank
pleasure. You
you
guys are a
both.
hoot. It's just always a lot of
Oh my God, you're so sweet. Thank you both.
help.
I'll send you a loaf of Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
or something.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
No, because it'll cost you $50 to send it. It's crazy. I sent a package.
For
I
a
almost
$2
fell over
loaf.
when I saw the postage. I'm like, what? So,
Well, you have to remember that 60% of the cost of posting anything here goes to the Queen. Just saying.
well, there you go, Your Highness. You made a mint of me. Let me tell
Gotta
you
pay
what.
for that funeral.
Yeah, that's another show. That's just another show.
We could go there, couldn't we?
Oh, we could.
Very, very easily. Yeah.
I know. We'll leave that right there. But guys, thank you for coming on, and I'm looking forward to your posts. So I do watch them when they come up. I've not been on social media a whole lot lately, just trying to, get onto lighter feelings. Just
Yeah. That's good.
So much
Yeah.
Well, see you again, guys, and thanks again. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thanks for everyone for listening. Very appreciate it.
Nice one.
Yeah, take care, everyone.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Well, we have come to the end of another fantastic segment here on the Outer Realm. Guys are amazing. Big thank you to them. It's always such a pleasure having them on. It's always a lot of fun. Everything is just in fun. Nothing personal. Again, sorry, send the hate mail to the producer. But huge thank you to Folgers Coffee for partially sponsoring tonight's show. Hopefully they'll have a drink in that chalice. Anyway, big thank you to Joe. And please remember to stop by the UFO Paranormal Radio Network and on YouTube, along with UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials, a new channel by the network. Subscribe and you get double the fun. While you're at it, please feel free to go to our group page on the Outer Realm and also on Instagram. If you are interested in being on the show, and I'm really getting a lot of emails right now, so I apologize. It does take me a little bit of time to get to everyone. But just message us at the outerrealmcontact@gmail.com. The outerrealmcontact@gmail.com. If you want to see a guest on, if you're interested in perhaps joining us, let us know. please know we are booking into the end of the year. So tune in next week as we welcome 2 more amazing guests. Wednesday night brings Morgan Daimler back to the show, and she will be discussing fairies and pagan portals. And oh my gosh, there's just like a wealth of information on it. Yeah, people have requested her back. She's back. Thursday night is the return of Payne Andoff. He'll be discussing alien abductions, astral projection, and a whole lot more.
Wow.
So in the meantime, you guys behave yourselves, and Amelia and I thank you for tuning in. Especially a big thank you to those in chat. Have a good night and a fantastic, safe weekend. Thank you. Good night.
Studying UFOs and nuclear bases. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Robert Hastings, let me give a little bit of background on him. Robert Hastings
Paranormal field. As a child, she communicated with spirits, animals, and angels. Ghosts and Girls Paranormal.com. Wow, that would be a tongue twister if I had to say that a few times, let me tell you. So I will just wait for Joe to bring her on in and we'll get the show started. And there she is. How are you? Click on your microphone. I can't hear you. Go take the mute button off. There you are. There you are. You're very low. Yep.
I guess it's because I talk low.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you still sound a little bit low. I'll turn up my volume a little bit. You might have. Do you have a volume control on your mic?
No.
It would be in your computer.
Let's see. No, I don't.
And while you're doing that, I'm just going to go approve all these posts. And we are live. Okay. Add profile. There we are. Excellent. Yeah, I think you have to go into your settings. Oh. Just ready to go with everything. Okay, and unmute your microphone.
That better?
Much better. Wow.
Headsets.
That's okay. There you are. So how are you?
I'm doing good. It's 85 degrees here today. My favorite weather.
Very nice. I wish I could say it was 85 degrees here, but it's nowhere near. So, not good. Not good. Just want to bring to your attention, you'll notice to the right of the screen, there's comments. There's a little comment box at the top. If you click on that, any comments that come in through any of the chats, you will also be able to see.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. So just if they happen to start chatting, you'll be able to see anything that I'm seeing. So there we go. So you've been working. It's 85 degrees. That's nice. So,
yeah, today's my day off. I get Wednesdays off, so it makes it nice.
Oh, wow. So I imagine you've been very crazy with everything going on.
Yeah, 50, 60-hour weeks. It's like it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, no kidding. I guess it doesn't leave much time for a whole lot of anything else either, does it?
No.
Yeah. Well, that's no fun.
I know, right?
No shenanigans for June.
Nothing but the demon removals on the weekends and evenings. So there you go.
That's pretty much how it goes. We allocate a couple of days a week also for that. I'm doing radio shows all the rest of the time, so you have to take some time to, to
Yeah,
get
you're
all
gonna have
that.
some time for yourself as well. That's the thing. Trying to find time for me is hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a thing.
Yeah.
I haven't had a whole lot of that. I probably spend at least 25 hours a week just researching for one show, not counting anything else. So it's like, God.
Yeah,
and that doesn't count the gray zone. That's just that's the other shows.
Exactly.
That doesn't count. Outer Realm, thankfully, it's just, knowing our lovely guests. And since you're sort of a repeat offender here on the Outer Realm, yeah, it was already easy to do.
Right. That's
true. So tonight we're going to be, I guess, talking about probably a lot of things, but the dark side of the paranormal. I know I've been doing this. You've doubled me on time. I've been, doing this 18 years, and it's amazing the amount of people that, message me on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
So have you noticed, since everything that's going on, without saying the C word, depressing everybody, with everything that's going on, do you find that you're getting more calls or emails because of mindset and things like that?
Yeah, I get a lot of that, and it seemed to pick up. Actually, it's picked up in the last 2 years. But a lot more people, you stop and think about it. There's a lot of depression and fear and anxiety. So, of course, this is everything that the negatives feed off of. So, they're like, let's have a party, man.
Yeah, pretty much, if you're just putting it out there, I definitely, that's you're going to end up with a lot of trouble. We end up with a lot of people who are either grieving, obviously, like you say, mindset, people who are, depressed, full of anxiety, addictions of sorts.
Yeah.
Because, of course, these things just love to amp that sort of stuff up.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I find with people who are grieving, and tell me if you feel the same, I think they want a message, or they just want something so desperately from their loved one that they don't realize perhaps a mimic is coming in and filling that void, and with acceptance becomes a form of invitation, which of course then starts a whole other melee of problems.
Definitely. It leaves you open.